Alright guys, time to revive this chat a bit. Again. I thought we had enough of challenges. Nah, there's never enough challenges. If they aren't dangerous, of course. What was the last dangerous challenge? The pretend to get hurt one. Yeah, that was not good. Speaking of, are you okay? After that break-in. You had a break-in? Yeah, some guys tried to rob us. And he was home alone. Oh fuck. What he said. Damn, you're okay? Yeah, you came home and knocked them out. I'm fine. That's good to hear. I can't even imagine what it had to be like. Yeah. Well, if you don't want to participate, you don't have to. Same goes for Yahaba. It's not that long since the whole thing went down either. But I think this one could be easy for you. I'll listen, then I'll decide. Same here. Fair. Quick question before you start. Why am I here? Hey there. I don't think we met before. He played for Fukurodani. Oh yeah, right. I remember watching you at Nationals that year. Jack of all trades, right? This again. But yeah, that would be me. Right. He's dating my teammate for now. What do you mean for now? You'll see. Oh, which one? The tall one that looks like an owl. They all looked like owls in Fukurodani. Fair point. Vashio, our middle broker. Oh, that one. Yes. Back to the topic, I have a challenge for you, for which you can thank Konoha here. What? I didn't do anything. Yeah, I know, that's the issue. Sounds serious. I'm not sure if I'll be able to participate though. Ryu and I are dealing with something right now. You'll see then. Your challenge will be to say, please don't go to your partner while hugging him. How desperate you want to sound is up to you. That sounds pretty harmless. Yeah, it seems nice. Shit. You got it? Good. I kinda like this, though I don't know if Ken won't start panicking for no reason. Yeah, same with you. But I guess I won't ruin anything by trying. True. Okay, I'm in. Me too. I like it. I can try, I guess. Konoha? Just so you know, you are missing part of the story. You can work it out together then. Fine. Awesome. Don't forget to share the reactions here after we finish. Shige? Are you sure you need all of this? Yahaba raised his eyes from where he was packing yet another blanket into his bag. A safety measure for a possible crisis in the future. Yes, I am sure. I need my comfort blanket nest. Kyotani sighed deeply, shaking his head, and Yahaba pouted. They were about to embark on a way to visit Kyotani's family in just a few hours, and Yahaba was already getting nervous. Not that he didn't want to see his almost adoptive family again, but the prospect of going somewhere outside of the usual routine of home, work, and occasionally shop made his breath shorten and heart speed up in his chest. He hadn't gone anywhere since he got attacked, and after a second incident with his coworker, he hated the idea of leaving their home without at least some form of comfort, which for him consisted of his beloved blankets. Though the longer he felt Kyotani watching him put all the blankets into his bag, the more silly he felt. The car can handle a few more blankets. I don't see an issue. I don't either. It's not about that. I would take the whole bed with us if it make you feel better, but don't you think two you use the most are sufficient enough? You are contradicting yourself. You know what I mean. No, I don't. Enlighten me. He huffed and shoved the blanket into an already full bag. With all his strength, he pushed down on the top to get the zipper closed together, but it still refused to budge. See? This is what I'm talking about. You can't even close the bag. I can take another one then. Kyotani raised his eyebrow, motioning to the already empty space in the wardrobe where they stored all the sports and travel bags they had. And which one exactly? Mine is torn and the rest is already full. We can only fit so much into the trunk and Bruno will be in the back seat. I can think of something. Shigeru. Yahaba clenched his jaw. What? What does it matter if we don't have any more bags? The blankets don't have to be in a bag. I don't care. I just want them with me. Is that so difficult to understand? They stared at each other for a moment, stunned silence settling in the room. Yahaba clenched and unclenched his fingers curled around the bag, his heart hammering in his ears. He couldn't remember the last time he raised his voice, but he couldn't stop himself. Why couldn't Kyotani, his own fiancée, just understand the blankets were important to him? Why couldn't he just let him do his thing? It wasn't so inconvenient. Why couldn't he just... Kyotani sighed again and got up from the floor, stopping Yahaba's train of thought. Fine. Yahaba paused, the resigned tone in Kyotani's voice sounding all wrong to his ears. He opened his mouth to ask what was happening, but all words died off on his tongue as he watched Kyotani heading for the bedroom door. Ken, where are you going? Out. Dread pulled in Yahaba's stomach, singing it like a cold stone. Wait, don't go, please, Kyotani gave him a barely visible smile, which just constricted Yahaba's chest more. I'll be right back. You can pack the rest of your things in the meantime. I'll load them in the car when I come back. Wait, Ken, please. He wanted to get up, but his legs refused to cooperate. And so he stayed stuck kneeling on the floor, watching Kyotani grab his keys and whistle at Bruno, giving him a guard command before disappearing in the hallway. The sound of the door being shut pierced his ears like a gunshot. Please don't go. He only got silence in response, feeling like a boulder pushing on him from all sides at once. He clutched the edge of one of the blankets in his fist, his breathing shortening. He didn't mean to yell. He didn't want to yell, especially at Kyotani, who was nothing but helpful and patient with him and all his swings for the wars, and who stayed by his side no matter what. Was he getting too much to handle now? Did Kyotani have enough of the constant cuts and compromises he had to do to accommodate him? He wouldn't be surprised, only by the fact it took him so long to get to the breaking point. His gaze fell on the bag in front of him. Moving as if in a dream, he pulled the last added blanket out, then another one, and then another, barely seeing what his hands were doing through his blurred vision. Maybe he will forgive me if I only take 2 or 3. Maybe I just shouldn't take any. It's a family visit. What horrible thing could happen? Why would I need all this? It's not like they would... He took a shattered breath, feeling his hands trembling as the dark, panic-induced scenarios flooded his mind. He squeezed his eyes shut to chase them away, but only succeeded in making them more vivid. Stop, stop, stop. They wouldn't do anything. They are nice and kind. They always were. And Ken wouldn't let anyone to. He wouldn't. He wouldn't. Soft puff of hot breath next to his ear startled him. He didn't even manage to comprehend what happened when a large furry body snuggled to him, the wet nose nudging his chin. Bruno? The dog whined quietly before resuming his previous action of making himself comfortable in Yahaba's lap and pushing his head under his hand for head pats. Yahaba stilled, but despite his dire mood, he couldn't help the small smile making its way to his lips. You're such a sweetheart, you know. Bruno huffed into his face and nudged his hand again. Sighing, Yahaba hugged Bruno's body and buried his face into the soft fur. He squeezed his eyes shut when Bruno laid his head on his shoulder, tears stinging behind his eyelids. It's fine. It will be fine. It will. He had no idea how long he stayed like that, with his face and fingers buried into the soft fur while he battled tears and his own thoughts, when the sound of the main door opening startled him. But while Bruno's quiet bark told him it wasn't a stranger coming in, given the situation, he might have been in much worse trouble. He let Bruno go to check out the door, but still couldn't find the courage to raise his head despite the light footsteps coming closer, terrified of facing the disgruntlement surely present on Kyotani's face. Shige. An involuntary whimper left Yahaba's throat. I'm sorry. But why? You didn't do anything. There was a short pause, after which the footsteps stopped in front of him. Why did you take the blankets out? I thought... I don't need them. I know I don't. Not this many, or any, I know I should get over it already and stop being difficult. I know, and I'm trying, I swear, it's just... I'm sorry. He waited for Kyotani to agree with what he said, perhaps to add his few bits about how he was being annoying since he deserved as such. But instead, he only heard a quiet shifting of fabric. Can I touch you? Yahaba froze, fright taking hold of him for a second, but then he found himself nodding instinctively. The familiar calloused hand cupped his cheek, guiding him to raise his head. He didn't fight against it, his vision hazing when he met the fire amber eyes he loved so much. I'm sorry. Kyotani just shook his head and brought him to his chest, engulfing him in a warm embrace. Don't apologize for that. You aren't being difficult, you are scared, and I understand. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything and just let you pack whatever you need to feel safe. Here, I bought you another bag for the blankets. You can take as many as you need. Yahaba sniffed and followed where Kyotani motioned to, finding a brand new large travel bag on the floor next to them. So you went out too? Yeah. I'm sorry it took me so long. The first store only had some small ones, so I had to drive a bit further. You weren't upset? Of course not. Why would I be upset? Because it's annoying. I'm still not over it even after so long. Clicking his tongue in apparent displeasure, Kyotani lifted Yahaba's chin, his eyes strict but not upset or unkind. Yeah, you got assaulted. Twice. If anyone I know has the right to not get over something, it's you. You have all the right to be scared, and I'm here for you whenever it gets too much for you. So don't worry about being annoying because you aren't. You could never be. Yahaba blinked a few times before hiding his face in Kyotani's shoulder, his lower lip trembling. But this time, there was no panic squeezing his chest to the point of pain, only Kyotani's warm embrace chasing away the dark thoughts. Will you help me back again? Kyotani hummed and kissed his forehead. Of course. The longer EnnoTana sat on the couch thinking about the challenge, the more sure he was that he might have agreed a bit too hastily to the whole thing. The challenge was harmless and sounded pretty sweet, but the execution in their case could prove to be slightly problematic. What if I just mess up the pace we have now? Ryu will definitely be confused about it. What if he takes it the wrong way? It had been almost 2 weeks since the challenge, and they still weren't back to the usual calm atmosphere they had between them before. Not that Tanaka didn't try to make it up to him. He did his best while also keeping his distance to give him all the space he needed, for which EnnoTana was eternally grateful. But the invisible barrier between them stayed. He would give anything for the things to return to the way they were before. He stayed wide awake long into the night for the last few days, debating whether he should just tell Tanaka everything was good again. But he knew that wouldn't be a complete truth, and he didn't want to confuse Tanaka with his behavior. No matter what happened between them, just the idea of hurting Tanaka like that made him nauseous. He was still his boyfriend after all, and despite everything, he still loved him more than anything. He jumped slightly when he heard the keys turning in the lock, cursing under his breath when he realized he had been staring into nothing for at least half an hour instead of doing something productive. Iga? EnnoTana bit the inside of his cheek and craned his neck over the back of the couch. Hey, welcome home. It didn't take long before Tanaka appeared from behind the wall, a sheepish smile that didn't fit his person at all on his face. Hey. He made a few steps towards the couch, but then stopped abruptly as if remembering something and avoided his gaze, rubbing the back of his neck. So, did you have a good day? You look pretty tired in the morning already. EnnoTana's heart swelled, the realization that Tanaka still paid close attention to him, chasing away some of his anxiety. It wasn't that bad. Only a few clients, nothing too exhausting. He refrained from asking about Tanaka's work, knowing well about the mess that's been happening there for the last week. They agreed not to talk about it, but it was still strange to not ask about his boyfriend's day. Many things were strange now, and EnnoTana couldn't shake off the feeling of wrongness that settled on his mind yesterday. As if there was something he should know about, but didn't because of the current situation. It was the same feeling he had just before everything went sour, which made him even more nervous. Are you hungry? I made curry. And I got some melon pan for you. Tanaka blinked a few times in apparent confusion before a sad smile spread over his lips. You're such a sweetheart, you know. I'm not hungry right now though. But I'll take it tomorrow, don't worry. I won't just leave it lying here when you bought it. EnnoTana furrowed his brow, concern growing in his chest. Over the years they've known each other, he had seen Tanaka nervous for all possible reasons. From morning before test nerves to, I want to confess, anxiety. But this was something he hadn't seen before. Something seriously strange. And even if that wasn't a reason to worry, the fact that Tanaka refused a melon pen for possibly the first time in his life definitely was. Are you alright? Huh? Oh yeah, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. All's good. He gave him a smile so forced and almost froze Enoshita in place, the warning bells in his head ringing an alarm. You don't look fine. What's wrong? Nothing, really. Ryu. Seriously, don't worry about it. I'm just a bit tired, nothing horrible, I swear. Enoshita bit his tongue, torn between pressing further to learn the truth and leaving the topic for the sake of not making Tanaka uncomfortable. Under normal circumstances, he would probably give in to his instincts and press further until he got to the bottom of the problem. But there was nothing usual about the situation they were in. And so he just nodded, silently promising himself to keep an eye out on his boyfriend in the future. Tanaka's shoulders visibly relaxed then, as if some invisible weight got lifted from them. Well, I'm going to take a shower if you don't mind. Yeah, sure, go ahead. With that, Tanaka gave him one last strange smile and headed to the bathroom. Enoshita followed him with his gaze, frowning when Tanaka suddenly wavered and had to lean on the wall for support. What's wrong, Ryu? Why don't you want to tell me? He couldn't sleep at all that night. Too many thoughts swarmed in his head, preventing him from letting the darkness embrace him and resting. He couldn't get the conversation with Tanaka out of his head. There was something behind the unbothered exterior of his boyfriend that didn't sit right with him. If he wasn't worried before, he definitely was when, right after coming out of the shower, Tanaka headed straight into the second bedroom, where he moved after the last challenge until they made up, and stayed there the whole evening, only coming out for a short trip to the bathroom. He was half ready to ask about his well-being again, but Tanaka's avoidance stunned him to silence both times. And now he regretted it. His eyes strayed to the door, a sudden ice-cold grip of loneliness closing around his heart. He wished to have Tanaka next to him like he was used to, the sheets feeling cold without his warm presence. He wouldn't mind sleeping in the same bed. He even told Tanaka so a few times. But Tanaka always refused, saying he didn't want to make him uncomfortable in case he instinctively did something he was used to before. As if that was any issue. He furrowed his brow when the muffled sound of the door being opened sounded from the hallway, followed by quiet tapping of bare feet on the floor. His heart skipped a beat, the feeling of something being wrong returning in full force. Soon he found himself getting up, unable to convince himself that it didn't have to mean anything and Tanaka could be just going to the bathroom. The hallway was empty when he exited the bedroom, yet he couldn't see a light coming from under the bathroom door either. Confused, he continued further into their apartment and then froze when he spotted a dark figure sitting slumped on the couch, only illuminated by the light coming from the TV. Ryu? Tanaka flinched and turned around, the blue light giving his face a ghostly look. Chika, what are you? You should be sleeping. Enoshita took a hesitant step closer. I could be saying the same. What's wrong? Why are you here in the middle of the night? I just couldn't sleep, so I thought I could watch something to tire my eyes. Did I wake you up with that? I'm sorry, I'll be careful next time, I promise. Next time? He made another step forward, biting his lip before he settled on the edge of the couch. Ryu, please tell me what's wrong. You've never done this before, and now you are suddenly talking about next time as if... You didn't even eat the melon pan. That never happened before. Chica... Please don't tell me you are okay. I can see you aren't. I'm worried, Ryu. Why don't you want to tell me what's going on? Tanaka sighed and hid his face in his palms, his shoulders slumping, and Enoshita could swear he could see his hands shaking. It was so strange to see his usually so lively and strong boyfriend like this, the sight sinking his heart like a cold stone. But he couldn't do anything unless he knew what was going on, which frustrated him to no end. What kind of boyfriend was he when he didn't help his partner? I don't want you to worry about me or make you get close to me from pity. I want us to be okay again, but I don't want to rush you just because you feel sorry for me. Now you are really worrying me. Please tell me what's wrong. I swear I will pity you, I just want to help. Tanaka sighed again, rubbing his definitely trembling hands together before he let them fall into his lap. He stared into the empty space for a long while, and then finally spoke up quietly. I got fired today. Enoshita paused, shocked. What? But why? You were one of their best trainers. Why would they... Because our boss said we can't afford to lose a good client. Enoshita stared at him in disbelief, anger bubbling in his chest. How even dared they? So he just fired you? Because you stood up for yourself? Is he serious? I think it's better like this anyway. At least I won't have to deal with her anymore. I didn't want to tell you because it's not a big deal and you would be worried for nothing, so... yeah. He tried for a reassuring smile, but failed horribly. Well, I guess I'll head back to bed now. Just don't worry about it, okay? You don't have to. Enoshita was moving even before he had time to think. Challenge be damned, he needed to act for real, here and now. He wrapped his arms around Tanaka, burying his face into the crook of his neck. Wait, please don't go. Chica? He can sleep in the bedroom again. Our bedroom. I don't mind. He felt Tanaka tense up in his arms. Are you sure? Yeah, 100%. I mean it, not out of pity, I promise. Tanaka hesitated for a while, but then nodded and returned the hug somewhat awkwardly. Alright. Enoshita let go and stood up, but froze mid-step when Tanaka hissed as he got up, wavering slightly on his feet. Are you... I'm fine, just a bit stiff, that's all. He smiled, but Enoshita was neither blind nor stupid to miss the pain in his face. And the feeling of wrongness didn't go away either, on the contrary. You still haven't told me everything, have you? You should go to sleep too. Snapped out of his thoughts, Enoshita rushed after Tanaka, taking note of the wobbly way he walked. What the hell is going on?